Okay, so today we're going to continue with, I thought that the t-shirt design was missing something. So today we're going to fill in that blank. I'm going to go ahead and open up a couple of things here that we're going to need. Plus I need to open up Affinity Designer. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe. That would be awesome. But also, I'm a big fan of Affinity Designer, so we do a lot of things in Affinity. Link in the description for everything that I mentioned in the video. Okay, so we'll go ahead and we'll open up the previous design. Okay, so this is where we left off. And by the way, I showed it to the marketing director and she loved it. And I told her that I wanted to do a grunge version and she loved that as well. So that's what we're going to do today. So let's go ahead and grab the stuff that we're going to need. Now, I looked at a bunch of videos on how to do texture in Affinity Designer, and I fell upon this idea, free vector grunge texture. And I came down to here, and I'll put a link to this in the description as well. And I found this, went to this website, and I found download free vector grunge textures. I thought I was going to have to give them my email address and all that if you want more goodies. But I said, no thanks, I just want this one, and it let me download it. So FYI on that. But that's the one that we're using if you want to follow along. And the reason I grabbed vector grunge is because I'm going to be doing grunge on a white t-shirt, and I'm going to be doing grunge on a dark t-shirt. So the marketing director asked me to focus on women's t-shirts. So I'm going to type in women's white t-shirt blank. Expedience sake, we'll just grab, this one looks good. Do right mouse click and I open image in new tab and that'll work. Let's go ahead and drag that in. We'll drag in the ping because this is where we're going to end up for the white one. And so we'll do the dark one. So we will focus on these two and we'll just do one side for the white. So now we will go ahead and grab our vector grunge textures. It's right here. And I'm going to grab the EPS for now, and we'll just drag that in up here. We'll take a look at these. These may be hard to see, but I think I want this one. So I'm going to grab this one, and I'm going to do a Control-C, okay, and I'm going to go back to our design. Okay, and I'm not really sure how I'm going to do this. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take our whole design and I'm going to duplicate it and turn off the other one so I have a copy in case I mess anything up. Then I'm going to Control V and I'm going to paste in our texture. Let's see what we got there. Okay, that's a little small. So I'm going to hold Shift and I'm going to grow it to about the size of what I need. That looks pretty good. So here's the other thing I want to do, and this is just personal preference. You don't have to do this, but I like to do it. I highlight the top one, I open up the group, I highlight the top one, the top curve, and I go all the way down to the bottom, and I highlight here, and I do an add. And that just makes them makes it just one image. So I took all those curves, all those separate curves. Now you can leave them individual if you want to add some and take some away, but I like this texture as is, and I don't mind using it as is, okay? Now this is personal preference. This is how I like to do it. But already, you know, just by adding this grunge here, and you can stretch it. That's the great thing about grunge is that you want it grungy, so it doesn't matter. If you don't like the orientation of it, you can highlight it and you can turn it around. You can do a 45. But what you want to do is you kind of want to keep it somewhat balanced. So it's heavy on this side, you need heavy on that side too. That would be my only pro tip, is try to keep it as balanced as you can. And if that means that you bring it back down to a smaller size and then do a Control J and drag this over and flip it and mirror it, okay, and drop it down here. See, that looks good. And then you can grab this, do a Control J, hold Shift, drag it up. That looks pretty good. And what you can do is you can group all of this, scroll out, let's start moving it. So we don't need the shift. It's already constrained and we can make it larger. And then we can cover the whole design so we can get the Red Mountain text in there too, okay? We can also flip it. See, I like that a little better. See, because I've got spots here, spots here, spots here, spots here, and I think there's one here too. It really is, see, I'm holding Shift because I want to bring it in tighter and I want to cover the whole design. But you have to be careful because you can chew up your text to the point where it's unlegible. So you need to watch that too. Okay, so, I could be here all day messing with it. You get the idea? Here's the cool thing about it being a vector, and the reason why I grabbed a vector one. Now, you can do pixel too, you can do the same thing, but I prefer vectors because I can scale it up, I can scale it down. Anyway, pro tip on that's why I use vectors, because it allows me to scale. Let's go ahead and grab our original one. This is the plain one, so we'll just leave that retro hex, and then we'll Control J it. And we don't need these. I'll keep the logo, but we don't need the sunset. We never did use the sunset. And I may come back and do a design later with the sunset. So I'm going to call this dark retro hex, and I'm going to call this white retro hex. And the reason why is because we're going to get rid of this background. We're going to get rid of this right here, and it's going to go to a white, which means we have to turn on our assets and grab that raisin dark. We want that line here for the polygon. We want the line that raisin dark, and we can leave it at 20%. It looks good at 20%, and we can turn off our assets. And our text here, down here, Red Mountain's good. The technical college is missing, so we can make that. There you go. And that looks good. It's a little light, so we can bring that up, maybe 40. Okay, that works for now. Okay, so that's how it's going to look on the white shirt, and she loved this as well. So I said, let me grunge this up as well, and she said, great. So now that we have the white, let's go ahead and Control J that, and we'll turn off the original, and this one we will call white grunge. And we can now go to the dark grunge, and we can grab this group, we can Control J it, and we can bring it up here to the white grunge. And I think you might know where I'm going with all of this is because now turn it white, and now it shines through. And there are ways that you can actually make this transparent, but I want to leave it white for now. I'm going to make it transparent after all the approvals have been signed off on. So yeah, I think she's going to like that as well. Okay, so this is the white one. And so we have the white grunge, right? And we have the dark grunge, which for some reason is white now. I'm sorry, we're showing that one. Although it looked kind of cool. I mean, holy cow, that looks kind of cool. Anyway, so here's the white grunge. So let's go ahead and add this to our t-shirt blank. So we'll do a Control C. We'll do a Control V. So you can see all the, looks like snow. Isn't that funny? And it's way too big. And like last time, we're going to have to scale down our stroke. So we'll go ahead and scale with object on the stroke panel. And we'll grab the whole group. We'll scale it down. Okay, that's a little big. I like it a little smaller, especially for the ladies. And then we can try my tip in the last video. So we'll grab this group, and it's without the curve, and we will drop it down to an 80. See how that looks? And that picks up some of the white. And the curve is a 20, so let's drop it down to a 15 so we can pick up some of that white. Okay, we can drop Red Mountain down while we're at it. Let's drop that down to an 80. Okay, let's bring up the web address up to a 65. Let's add 10 because it's a little faint down there. Okay, and that just picks up some of the white of the shirt. Okay, and what we can do is grab the whole thing and we can slightly turn it to match the orientation. Just give it a slight turn, about 2 degrees. And now it looks like it's resting on that shirt. That's a little high. That looks pretty good right there. Okay, and you can still see the grunge here, a little bit in here. I can't see it on the text, so that's good. I can still read the text pretty clearly. It just gives it a little bit of, that flavor of a worn-in t-shirt, which is very popular. If you get a chance to grunge something up, I would recommend you do it. Okay. So yeah, that's the white design. Let's go ahead and do the dark. So let's turn on the dark, the grunge, and let's go ahead and turn off our background because we don't need it. Gonna go on the black. Okay, all right. So let's grab this and let's put it here. I forgot to do it again, but we know the drill. Scale the polygon down. Okay, grab the whole group, scale it down, and we're gonna have to fix our curve. And on this one, we can put what we did on the last one is we can put the small one in the back too while we're at it. We'll scale this down. See, now this polygon is turning into a circle. But before we get down that small, let's go ahead and reduce our curve now. So let's grab the polygon. Let's grab our curve tool or our corner tool. Let's highlight all of our nodes and let's pull it out, okay? And then we'll continue to scale down. Scale it down, put it nice in the center there, okay? So what we'll do is we will duplicate this and we will, on this one, we'll get rid of that and we'll duplicate that, okay? We'll do a Control J and we'll drag those out on top so we have a copy of them, and we will turn this one off, okay? Collapse that, grab these two and drag it over here. Now, I wanna leave the red tech, that's pretty small. Let's go to a 2, that'll work. So that way we can see it. And let's drop this one to a 50 like we did before, and we can scale this down. See how it's collapsing on us? So you hold Shift, drag it down, and it just picks up that color of the shirt. And we will grab, let's see if we can grab the grunge here. Okay, here's the grunge. Let's do a Control J, and let's take a look at it, and we'll drag it over here, put it on top. That doesn't look that bad. We can scale it down too. Get some of the bigger bits in there. And this really is up to you on how much you want to grunge something. You know, you can go harsh or you can go, there's more textures, and you can always double up your textures. Like I could do this again. I could create a Control J and I could turn it and I could do Control J, Control J, Control J. I mean, you could just grunge it until you're really comfortable, and you can flip it. You can flip this one. You can flip this one and flip that, turn it so you have variances. You know, you could go crazy on it. See how grunged up that is? I mean, it's really up to you. So yeah, I think, you know, she's going to like that as well. I think we're going to get approval on that. That one turned out much better than I thought it was going to. I was a little worried about being on the white, but that turned out nice. You know, we did a grunged version, you got a clean version. You know, I don't know which one they're going to print. I'll let them decide that, but I think these look great. I'm really pleased with the white one. So she did reach out to me, and based on the approvals that she gave us, we're probably going to do a couple of more designs. So look forward to that. Anyway, I hope you learned something. I had a blast doing this. I really enjoy doing this. All right, thanks for stopping by, and I hope you have a great day. And until next time, you take care. All right, bye-bye.